My whole career has been around building great companies and companies that have an impact on society and I truly believe that Pakistan's future is going to be where we are in a very difficult situation. The way out of it is going to be through leveraging technology to leapfrog and enable people's lives. There are massive challenges, right? Those challenges are for an entrepreneur and for the technology revolution, massive opportunities as well, right? So that's what brings me to Neem. My background is I've been an entrepreneur multiple times over. I was one of the founding team members of Jazz. I set up the whole credit and billing function, and I was also the chief strategy officer there and scaled it up from a small company to the largest company in Pakistan. So it's been, I've seen that happen. I've run a telecom company myself. I've been on the boards of financial services companies. I've been a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley as well, right? Where I learned the whole trade of how to build world-class companies. So all that experience came in very handy because I got a chance to be a minister in the government. I was a minister for investments for Pakistan. And when I left the government, which is in 2018, I was working with the World Bank I was the lead for the digital enablement of Pakistan, right? So I met my partner at that time, Naeem Sheikh. Naeem Sheikh is probably Pakistan's most well-known fintech entrepreneur and investor in the world, right? He used to be president of First Data Corp. Then he set up Anthemis Group, which is the #1 fintech investor in the world, to then being the president of Beyond Digital Financial and Jazz Cash. So I met him at that time, and I was really impressed by his vision because he brought deep understanding of how financial services can enable financial wellness of the people. I've been also a social entrepreneur. When I used to be a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, I came back to Pakistan to teach meditation, right? To have a social impact, and I still teach meditation and self-realization. I truly believe that, the inner journey is as important as the outer journey, right? And they both converge. When people evolve, the outer journey automatically blossoms. So from that space, when I met him, I loved the idea of enabling financial wellness to Pakistanis. And that's how Neem came out. And our third partner, Vladimira, who's also from a social impact space at a global level, and she's a world-renowned expert on what we call operating systems within companies for scale-ups, right? She's been published in Forbes, etc. And she was in Pakistan. She fell in love with Pakistan. So three of us formed Neem, and the whole idea of Neem is from the Neem tree. So Neem का दरख्त है ना, उसमें बहुत बरकत है. हर चीज़ की बरकत वाली है. Meaning that even the leaves are like pesticide, they're herbs to be eaten, and for medicinal purposes, the branches are useful, the roots are useful, the shade. If you have body inflammation, you sleep under a neem tree for 3 days, body inflammation goes away. So it's an incredible tree. It's from South Asia. We want to grow the goodness. So we're not a Pakistani company, we're starting from Pakistan, but we're going to be a global game changer. We believe it's time for Pakistani companies to go and reshape the world. So the business we're in is to enable financial wellness of every Pakistani. We believe Pakistan is and the data is showing, one of the least banked countries in the world, right? 95% of the population is either unbanked or underbanked, meaning that less than 10 million people have credit profiles, less than 10 million people, or access to credit, right? Which out of 250 million people, that's a very small percentage. We believe that the Pakistan, and the opportunity is that, one is the technology revolution, the communication revolution has brought the internet to everybody. The digitalization of Pakistan is starting to happen. But what we want to now enable is to enable financial enablement of people, right? To be able to access those resources, the capital, the insurance, be able to save. And when we look at the financial wellness, right, we see it very differently. We have, my partners have published papers on it. They kind of coined the word on financial wellness. To us, financial wellness starts from payments, right? As every individual should have the access to be able to store some value, to be able to transact, to remit money to the family at very low cost and very efficiently and easily. एक तो ये हो गया. So once you move beyond that, you need access to credit, to be able to finance your business, your lifestyle, your education, your healthcare. And beyond that, you want to also be able to protect some of it, right? If you start building a business, you have borrowed to buy seeds and pesticide, then you want to make sure the crop gets grown and needs to be insured, to be able to get insurance, to be able to protect that so that they can pay off the loan also, and they're covered because of that. And lastly, once they make some excess capital, to be able to save and to be able to fulfill their hopes and desires of one day maybe going for Hajj, one day building a house, right? And that's the vision we're taking forward, is how do we enable financial wellness of Pakistan as a starting place. I said our vision is global. So our investors always ask us, what is your exit? Because they want a return on their money. And we've got, like I said, some of the top VCs in the world, like Spark Labs, right, from Hong Kong. We've got people like Arif Habib. We are the only investment from Arif Habib Investment Bank to startup. So really world-class investors. We've got about 10 major VCs and funds which have put in money into us. So it's good. Now we have a solid foundation to be able to build upon. So the investment, the exit for us, we are not only looking to be a local company, but a global company. We're building, a lot of people build companies in Silicon Valley called either to flip or companies that will last and change the world, right? We are building a game-changing company. We believe our exit is going to be, our holding company is in Singapore, right? So we feel Singapore is a very good market for the whole Asia and this region. Asia, Middle East and Africa region that is becoming a major fintech hub. So we probably will take the company public in a market like that, right? So exit is going to be an IPO in our mind. We don't want to sell, we want to build something that will last and be a game changer for the world. The biggest risk, I think, is, I've seen many technology cycles, right? Starting with telecom. I was part of the telecom revolution in Pakistan. It takes some time for adoption to happen, right? Customer education. So we truly believe that the inflection point in the financial services space is round the corner. We believe within the next 2 years that inflection point is going to happen. Because a lot has happened in Pakistan. Right? One is things like Rast have come about. The government is now proactively trying, State Bank has been working towards opening up the whole digital financial services space. And there's a certain progressiveness. So in telecom, when I got in there in 1993, I was one of the early employees. The breakthrough happened around 2003 and 2004. It took 10 years, right? Cycle. For the first 10 years, we only had 1 million customers. The next 5 years, we had 100 million for the marketplace, right? The telecom industry just extended. So I truly believe that for the financial services space, the inflection point is around the corner. Now, if it takes longer, it takes more stamina and more. We are ready for it, right? Our model is low cash burn because we don't have to acquire customers. We leverage other people's customers. Yes, we do revenue shares across everybody, but our model is around low customer acquisition cost, right? So we don't have such a high burn, so we can sustain ourselves much better than all the other players that are coming about, which have much higher cash burn projections. They have higher margins and, yes, but our model is simple, right? It's really focusing on being an infrastructure provider, enabler, a B2B player, and through that, leveraging other people's community to enable people's lives towards financial wellness. Daily basis. So daily basis, so we built a really robust, what we call operating system, right? And I mentioned my partner, Vladimira. She is truly phenomenal in this area. And we've created a culture of empowerment. High level of candor, right? There is no high, there is such, we want to unleash. See, there's a Harvard Business Review study which says that and they did it for top 500 companies. They said in the top 500 companies, 85% of the employees are disengaged from the work, right? And 15% actively working against the company. We want everybody pushing forward. This is their company. We're going to build this together. So we build a culture around that, right? And how do we motivate it? By making sure that they have the space to be able to deliver on that. So we have weekly huddles. We talk to each other. Everybody is getting equity in the company, right? So they're all shareholders in the company. When the company succeeds, they will also succeed in a big way. We want them to be a part of it. Like I said, most importantly, is giving people space to succeed. there's so much talent in this country, but most of the talent is not fully, they can't give their best. They're not heard even. Here we've created a culture where they're heard, listened to, and if somebody wants to do, we have one employee in a company who joined just out of college. But quickly in 1 year's time, she is now, not only learned all about finance, legal, and now she's running the people's function within the organization because she had talent. We let her grow, right? And we're going to let a lot of people grow and build a great company because people make companies. So within 1-3 is a little harder. Really, in 6 months' time, we will be fully in market, right? With our wallet. It's an open API, white label wallet, which will be available in the market to be able to plug in. We have 2 use cases that are already in deployment, so we're going to focus on those where we'll get that out. In the meantime, we are building a lending business, right? So lending business will start scaling. We have got a good pipeline that is now coming online. So we'll mobilize that. So by the end of the year, within 6 months, we'll have at least our what we call the banking as a service business fully mobilized, and the lending business mobilized in Pakistan, right? And within 12 months, we should be generating very good cash flows and ready to start scaling up massively. So when we started this 2.5 years ago, and then COVID hit us, as you know, right? So we survived COVID, and we've been at the Hive for a long time, and it slowed us down quite a bit, but we stayed at it. We learned, used that as an opportunity to figure things out, bring the right team together. So it was a big challenge. I mean, it slowed down our whole growth path, right? But we stayed on it. We've been building. It grew our team stronger. One of my partners got COVID in the early days, and we were all together. We all had to look after each other. So we became a very close family as well, right? So it's in those challenging times. And second is, raising money in Pakistan is never easy, right? And getting quality money is always a challenge. And now, especially last couple of months with the financial downturn, that's been some source of concern. But things have worked out for us. We have the right amount, right people, and the right capital on board. So if you persevere, you're committed, you're sincere, things happen. What really motivates me? See, I'm a Sufi, right? And the Sufis are focused on, feeling a sense, because a Sufi is one who feels that there is nothing other than me. Everything is me, right? So I feel that Pakistan and the world, there is so much that needs to be done to improve people's lives, and I really want this company to have a massive impact on people's lives. And that's what I love. And all 3 of us founders are really committed to building a company that will improve people's lives dramatically, right? And Pakistan needs it. We want to be part of the journey of turning around Pakistan, being the game changers for Pakistan. And that's a big motivation. And I believe that you should aspire, because why should we aspire for small things? As a nation, as people, we should aspire for the highest. We want to create hope and be an inspiration for others. Every single day, I love coming to work because my purpose is clear, right? And number 2, I'm working with people who I really enjoy working with. We've created an environment where everybody looks after each other, and it's very good to be there with them. Even our customers, who are our communities, we've built a relation. We are in the business of collaboration. Instead of, like you said, you asked me about competition. We're not concerned about competition. There's a big enough market. There's so much opportunity in this country. We are focusing on collaboration. How do we collaborate with others and make the world, and this country especially, a better place? And Pakistanis having a sense of financial wellness. Because financial excess gives you hope, ability to improve your life, right? That's how we are working and looking at the world. And that keeps me every day in the morning, get going. I work hard. All of us work hard, right? But we love what we do. When you're doing जो आप समझते ना, आपकी your reason to be, तो फिर वो काम नहीं होता, वो मज़ा आ रहा होता है, वो आपका इश्क होता है, ठीक है? इश्क में आपको दूर तक चलना भी पड़े, तो आप परेशान नहीं होते,